What's up to all my brothers and sisters out there? It is your brother L, and welcome to another episode of Echoes of Cyber Freedom. What's up, all? I hope you all been doing great. Man, I sounded pretty country there. I said, "What's up, all?" All right, we got more people coming into the room today. So, in today's podcast or episode of Echoes of Cyber Freedom, we are hosting a live AMA, Ask Me Anything, on cybersecurity and pretty much anything cyber, really. I'll open it up to. And I do got some questions. So, it's going to be great because I was working with a community member. Let me see if I can pull up everything here. So I can have it in the screen in front of me. And pretty much I had a community member, Mark, put some great information about reverse job applications. And it's something that I never heard of before he mentioned it. So I took a read, pretty much took a read of the site he provided me, the website, and everything was well, I mean, it looked great. And pretty much it's something that we also talk about in our community, cyber freedom fighters, because it's a mindset. And so today, pretty much, I want to talk about reverse job applications in the cyber world and answer a question that he asked, which was, does a good reverse job application process even exist? So big shout out to Mark. I appreciate you and I appreciate your questions in the community and for you sharing your knowledge as well with everybody else. So today we're going to be talking about reverse job applications. And as I mentioned, we also have a live AMA. So you can actually join us today on the call if you are a cyber freedom fighter. And you can ask me any questions that you want. And pretty much I'll answer them live for you. So more coaching, right? More coaching, more coaching. And I was just looking at my screen, trying to get everything situated here. We have some people in the community joined us today. So welcome, sister, for pretty much gracing us with your presence. So big shout out to Nati Nati. All right, so we got some movement activity here. We got chat window open and ready for the typage. So type in any question you have there for me, and I'm just gonna continue to kick this thing off and talk about what we want to talk about here today. And as I see questions rolling in, I'll get back to those questions and answer those as well. So another beautiful day here in this universe, or this rock that we call Earth. So I hope all my brothers and sisters out there, you all have been doing great, living life to the fullest, and not regretting any decisions. And if you are regretting those decisions, because I know it happens, then it's all good. It's just a time to reflect. And in token, right, never regret a decision. Just learn from it at the end of the day and keep pushing forward in a positive way, because that's all we got. When you start going down that negative rabbit hole, all negativity starts attaching, and next thing you know, you even have a worse day. So if you're having a bad day right now, my brothers or sisters out there in the world, then just take a moment of silence and reflect upon why you think it's going so shitty right now, or what has happened that may have made it shitty for you. So just reflect on that. Don't try to think about it too much, or as I like to call it, witch hunt for the problem or the person who created the problem, right? Because who cares? Shit happened. It's in the past. learn from that, be great, appreciate, and keep moving forward. But anyways, so next thing here that I want to talk about is that reverse job application. That reverse job application is pretty good. So again, big shout out to Mark and our community of cyber freedom fighters for sharing that knowledge with everybody else in the community and including myself. So I definitely appreciate that. And today I'm going to talk about that reverse job application and link it to something that we teach in our masterclass inside the community, as well as 5 steps. So pretty much we'll talk about all that. So we'll talk about the reverse job application. I'm going to actually pull up the website here from this guy who coined it. I guess he coined it, called Andrew Horner. My bad, bro. Andrew Horner. There it is. And pretty much I'm going to impart with you his story and what he did to get his, or to get a job, essentially, by using the reverse job application method. And he does have a website out there, so if you want to check it out as well, reversejobapplication.com, you can check it out, and or check it out with me right now as we go through this together. So it's pretty awesome. He put some lessons learned in there, and he laid it out pretty well. And pretty much, I think for him, I see what he did here as a problem that a lot of people face when they can't get a job. There's a lot of people out there, and he mentions this in his website. He says, yeah, there's a lot of people out there with a lot of potential, a lot of skill sets, but just because they don't check the boxes, then the company doesn't even call them, which is a sad thing. And it is very sad. So that's something that we're going to talk about today, because a lot of the students that we have in our cybersecurity coaching community, or our cyber freedom fighters, which is our cyber coaching community, then they face the same things, because a lot of them don't have any experience and they want to start in cyber, maybe as a cybersecurity practitioner, maybe an IT professional, whatever it may be, maybe a manager, or in some other capacity. And they just don't have the experience, or they have some experience or the wrong experience, and the job or the employers that they want to work for, don't even wink an eye at them. So, or even bat an eye at them. There it is. So it sucks. So Andrew Horner took that in his own hands, and he created this website so he can showcase pretty much what he wanted, which was an employer looking for him versus him looking for employers, and crafting his resume and sending it. And we know the whole song and dance, right? All right, I need a resume. I need to send it in to potential opportunities that I know I qualify for or that I want. And then when you put those things out there, nothing happens. You never get a call back. You don't even get a call back to tell you, hey, we didn't like your application because of this. If you had this, then we would have looked at it. Nobody even does that courtesy to you anymore. They just kind of just, whatever, put you in a bit bucket, in the trash, and they keep moving on with their lives. Meanwhile, you are stuck there just waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah. And that's the state of the world right now, right? Especially in the cyber world. But we don't play that. We don't play these things. So I want to share with you, after I'm done reading his reverse job application process here and telling you about it, I want to share with you some tips and tricks that I use in the past when I used to interview and hire a whole bunch of people. And pretty much when I was trying to, or not trying, because it got done, right? When I was developing the most elite cyber force or cybersecurity force that we knew at the time or that we had at the time, and trying to find people for these types of things require different mindset. So I want to share that with you here, and then also I want to share with you the five, I guess, steps, which is a process, or the five steps that I use and that I share with everyone in our cybersecurity masterclass in our community, which talks about how to actually do a reverse job application. So I just never called it that, and I'll share with you what I call it as well, all in today's podcast. Isn't it awesome? All right, so let's get going here. So the reverse job application by Andrew Horner. First, let me check my questions. Make sure I don't have any questions as I was yapping my mouth. All right. So, anyways, you can actually go to reversejobapplication.com and follow along with me if you want as well. I was going to share the screen here. However, I didn't reboot, and my computer is acting fussy with me because I've been doing a lot of crazy, high intensive crunching on my computer, and it doesn't like me right now because I've been stressing it out. Get over it. That's what I say. But I didn't reboot, and if I share my screen, it'll probably go to the bit bucket. So I want to keep things moving, and in doing so, I'm just not going to share my screen. However, it's okay because it's a podcast, right? However, if you want to follow along, go to reversejobapplication.com, and when you get to that site, you'll see it that it's by Andrew Horner. And pretty much this is his fantastic, amazing, magnificent reverse job application. So he structured it in a few different ways as far as the format. He did a one chunk about this, which was cool. And he talked about the present, the future in there. And pretty much I think in chunks, he went about this, about me. And then he went a little further and he said about you. He was talking to employers. And then at the bottom, he has a form about time for you to make an offer. So it was pretty slick. It was definitely great marketing. And I'll break that out. I'll break that down to you as well as to how this was a marketing tactic as well that worked. But anyways, the about this stuff, the reverse job application, he said, yep, he has a happy ending. And it is. He did get a job, so it worked. It was awesome. And he does provide a link to that. He says, read more about it. And he pretty much kept the site up so everybody can kind of see what he did. So his story, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but his story pretty much goes like this. And I was going to say that it pretty much is like a lot of people's story. They go to college, right? Because he goes to college. He's been out of college for some time and he can't get a job. And he went to college. He did his thing, right? He did, hey, man, I did my 4 years just like everybody wanted me to do. All my teachers, my counselors, and probably even your parents and your friends, they'll probably tell you, hey, go to college after high school, because that's all they knew as well. They didn't know anything different. So, of course, they're going to tell you to do that. That's the safe route. Go to college. And he did that. He went to college, and then he got out of college. However, he still can't get a job. And he was saying he was having the verge of his dreams crushed forever. I'm gonna read you this though. He said, thus bypassing the decades of thankless paper pushing that typically led to the result. No employer would give my resume a second glance. No human resource manager would line up for an interview for me. Even the recruiters were slow to return my calls. And it's like, yeah, yep. Because the way that whole world works is they check boxes. And human resource teams, they need to do better. They have human in their name as far as human resources. However, they don't really interact with a lot of humans. Like if you go to giant organizations, they're mostly stuck in pushing policy, talking about rules and things like that. Like there's no human element to it because if they did, then they would check out everybody's resume. But they don't. They pretty much make sure that it meets whatever criteria that they were told to look against. And if it doesn't, and if it doesn't have the right words, maybe, or it doesn't have the right degree, or if it doesn't say the right things as far as your resume, then you won't even go past the human resources manager, which is the HR team in any organization, over to the hiring manager because the HR team is just the HR team. And then they're going to take a first stab at everybody's resumes that they go through, and they're only gonna based on their criteria, and then whatever passes that test, then they'll get sent over to the hiring manager as a potential candidate to interview, and then the hiring manager would set up all these interviews with the candidates, and then they will probably put a board together, a hiring board, for you to do your interview with. So it's you versus whoever is in the room, maybe 2 to 4 people. And it may also be a multi-stage interview, which also are crazy, where you have your first interview, but that's just a one interview because you have 3 other interviews after that. So it's just nightmares. But anyways, I mean, that's kind of how the process works in the HR world. And in the same thing with recruiters do the same thing. um Recruiters actually, they do actually talk to people and they try to figure out if the candidate's even a good fit. But then again, they're also looking for the magical buzzwords again, because they're just recruiters. They're not in that industry, so they can't see greatness even though the person does not have any experience. And that's something that I used to like to do. I used to look at resumes and just look at them for what they were. I just wanted to get to know the person that volunteered to sign up to be a part of our mission set. So I would treat it as such. And I didn't care. I didn't care what degrees they had. I didn't care what certifications they had. I didn't care what experience they had. Right. I mean, I just wanted to see what they put on their resume because I knew, hey, whatever they put on their resume anyway was probably going to be BS. Right. Because there's 80% of the resumes, people just say whatever they want to say in there. And then when you get them in their interview, they can't even answer a question. But anyways, that's also happens as well. But that's kind of how we did it. But I'll talk more about that later. Getting back to the reverse job application. So pretty much that's the pain point, right? The pain point is you're out of college, nobody's hiring you because you got no experience, and you thought that going to college and getting this 4-year degree would solidify you a entry level job position somewhere. However, nobody provides that guarantee. Nobody's offering that guarantee. There's no guarantee, right? That is a fallacy, right? Thinking that you're gonna waste a lot of money, right? Going to college and potentially get in debt, waste 4 years of your time, or spend 4 years of your time, right? I don't want to be negative. Spend 4 years of your time doing this, whatever that thing was, and then when you get out, you expect a job. But when reality sets in, that expectation is nowhere to be found but in your mind because nobody's saying that. There's no businesses out there. I mean, I wish they would. That would be awesome, right? Then that would probably incentivize people to go back to college because if they say, hey, if you have a degree in, let's say, computer science, then great. That's all you need. Then come here. We have a job for you. I got 5 openings right now. And then just put that out there. Hey, I got 10 openings. I got 5 openings, right? So if you got this, then I'll hire you right away. I'll talk to you just to make sure that you actually paid attention and you actually know some stuff out of college. And then I'll bring you on board, right? If you got a good mindset. And then, but people don't see it that way as far as employers. They don't see the mindset. They just want to check the boxes. So if, you know, maybe they have somebody with a degree and no experience or not a good mindset and a degree, they would probably still hire that person because they had a degree. And they were like, yeah, no, gotta, this guy had a, or this person had a doctor's degree. So let's hire him right away. Versus the other person that didn't have a PhD, but had all the experience in the world. Now that happens more than we would like in the cyber world. But it's true. But it's true. It happens all the time. I've seen it happen many times. And that's why I never wanted to interview people like that, as far as with that mindset coming into an interview. And all right, if you got a doctor's degree, then you get more points than the next person. Like who cares? Right. I met many PhDers that didn't know their way out of a wet paper bag in the cyber industry. So, they just had a degree. They just had a PhD. So everybody was like listening to them because they had a PhD. And I'm like, all right. So they're wrong. So whenever they get around that, then they search for the right answer. And normally it's the PhD with the people. They're like, yeah, all right, this guy has the answer over here. And it's like, what happened? I thought you had the answer. Anyways, but that's kind of the lay of the land in the cyber world and probably outside as well. So this is what happened to our brother here, Andrew Horner. Same thing. He got out of college. He was like, yeah, I'm guaranteed jobs. Now I got this degree. Yeah. And then he was like, resume over here, resume over here, resume over here. And everybody was like, not even caring. No, nobody cared because he didn't have any experience. So nobody cared. And that's what he was talking about because he was like, damn, I spent my time earning a bachelor's degree. Twinges of regret laced my, what do you say here? Twinges of regret laced my every memory of the past 16 years. My world was a dark place. I headed for the drive-thru at McDonald's, eager to take the first few steps toward the early onset of heart failure, which would make the remainder of my pathetic existence more bearable. Jesus, Andrew. Wow. But yeah, don't eat at McDonald's, bro. But I get it. McDonald's is cheap. I wish they made good food for a good price. Like, why do you give me crappy food? Right? You give me crappy food that everybody could afford. Now I can afford it. Now the only thing I can afford is crappy food. Like what is that? What is that? Anyways, mind, body, spirit. What comes in must come out one way or another. So yeah, he even says it, heart failure, going to McDonald's. Oh man. He was trying to make it all go away with a nice Big Mac, or what did he want here? Chicken McNuggets. He wanted some nuggets. He wanted some nuggets. I couldn't figure out why nobody was interested in hiring me. That's pretty much what he said here. I was young and inexperienced, but surely that's what entry-level jobs were for. Yeah, they actually are. Yeah, come in here, you're not going to do anything crazy, right? People are going to be watching you. And if you got the stuff, then you got the stuff, right? I mean, why are jobs not doing that? Like, you guys are wasting so much time with interview processes out there and multi-stage level interviews and trying to figure out how many golf balls fit in a stadium if you close the whole damn thing. We're trying to figure out, hey, what's my personality traits? Like, nobody gives a shit. Okay? What really matters is what can you do? And that's how I hired people. And that's how I built the best teams in the cyber world, hands down. Like, we had the most scariest people in not only our our organization, but the entire ecosystem. And I did that, right? We did that together, not by checking boxes, but actually working with people and figuring out what they were good at and figuring out what their mindset was like. And that's it. Like if they had a good head on their shoulders, meaning they wanted to learn more, they wanted to grow. And for me, I always ask people this question: do you want to be the best in the world at what you do? And if the answer is no, then okay, then I may or may not use you, right? Depending on the conversation that follows. Because I've also hired people that didn't want to be the best in the world, but they were pretty good. And we both knew they were not going to stay in our organization for a long time. And all that stuff was fleshed out in the interview. How awesome was that? So as a hiring manager, I was like, all right, that's cool. I could use you for a year or two. That's cool. I mean, 100% transparency, right? And that helped me make my decision as a hiring manager and helped me pick the right people for the organization. And not only that, but people that were interviewing, they also felt that they had some power as well because they were calling the shots, so to speak. They were like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And I'm like, hey, I can't give you this, but I can give you this, right? And if you make a decision, right, if you want it at the end of the day, then it's a good fit for you, right? And if it's a good fit for me and if it's a good fit for you, then we'll work together. And that's how interviews are supposed to go. But normally you get in there and it's always one-sided, launching an onslaught of questions at people that may not be able to answer these things because you looked at the resume, man. But anyways, sorry to go on that rant because I'm with you, Andrew. I'm with you, man. Get out there. Nobody would hire you out of college, which was a disgrace. And you had to succumb to some chicken nuggets. I'm sorry. Sorry you had to treat your temple that way. But anyways, that's what he was talking about here. And I sent out volleys of applications, he says, to a slew of companies of which I was qualified to work for. None of them ever responded. Exactly, man. They do that. They don't got time, right? He was writing cover letters. Oh, man, cover letters. I used to write cover letters early on in my career until I saw that nobody gave a shit. So I stopped writing cover letters and I just focused and doubled down on my experience that I put in my resume, which is a tactic as well. But anyways, cover letters reminded me of that. So yeah, who cares about cover letters? Like if a company comes to me and they're like, hey, I know we got your application and everything looked great. However, I need you to submit a cover letter or I need you to submit some dissertation or some paper about myself. I'm like, you know what? You guys can have it because I don't want to work with you anyway. And really people don't understand how much power they have when they go into your interview. Normally is the other way. People go into the interview and they give up all their power. And that's what makes a shitty interview. Anyways, but so that's what he was talking about here in cover letters. Tailored to, okay, let me see what else he says here. I knew my talents would be an excellent addition to virtually any business. And that's true. You see, I mean, he was a great guy. If he would have came across if we would have crossed energy fields in this universe and his resume would have came across my table and I would have looked at it, I would have interviewed this guy. And if I would have interviewed him and if he would have said, hey man, I know my talents are an excellent addition to any business, but I want to work here because whatever. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to be friends. We're going to be best friends, because that speaks volumes, right? The positivity and not only that, but what's that word I'm looking for? Let me see somebody in chat. Look for the confidence. Yeah. Thank you. Right. The confidence and the positivity and confidence. I love it. Even if you have no experience, if you come in confident and positive, we're great, right? Because you're going to come in and you're going to be positive. Number one, hey, I can do anything you put in front of me. That's great. And then number two, you're going to be confident. Hey, I may not have the experience, but I can learn anything that you put in my way, and I'll learn it better than any of your staff. And if I can't learn something, then you can just fire me. Like, whoa, whoa. Imagine somebody said that in an interview. Like, bro, all right, I got you. Let's go. Anyways, I mean, that's what it is. But the entire job, he says here, the entire job seeking process is eating away at every shred of self confidence I once possessed, leaving me an empty husk of a man. Oh wow. I mean, it's true. I get it. You know, you're trying to survive here on this rock called Earth because we got to pay to play. So you're out of high school, right? And everybody in God and country is like, you need to go to college, yeah, yeah. And you're like, all right. So you bite the bullet, right? You pay for college. You pay not only with money, but you pay for your time, which is so precious in my book. And you pay for that. And then you get out and you're like, all right, well, everybody told me this was the way. And now you get out and you're like, yo, what's up? Where's everybody? I thought, where's all my offers? Oh man. Nobody cares about me. And that and really that's what starts happening. That's what he says here. Got eaten away at every shred of self-confidence because he was out there trying to find a damn job and nobody would even bat an eye at him. Craziness, craziness. Get off your high horses, people. Get off your high horses. But anyways, he was said it was in this moment of bleak desperation that I rediscovered myself in a burst of insight. And I was like, that's the aha moments that I talk about all the time. When you reach that pinnacle, that hero in that journey as a hero in your life where everything turns, you get that aha moment. And then that's the chance. Do you execute or do you make more excuses? Ooh. And he execute. Let me tell you that. He execute because he created this. That's what he said here, He realized that for these past 2 long, painful years that he's been searching for a job. I can't believe that. Like, bro, what were you doing for these 2 years? I want to know. Like, wow, come to Cyber Freedom Fighters. I would have hooked you up. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. But I am now. So if you're struggling to find a job right now, and maybe you're like, I wanna find a job. I want to find a cyber job. I want to find come into Cyber Freedom Fighters. Let's talk. It shouldn't take you that long. Let's go. Let me see what kind of skill sets you have, and I'll tell you exactly. Hey, these are the things that you can do. Anyways, I had, let's see what it says here. Let me see. I had been pretending that it was acceptable for me to humbly ask somebody to do me the favor of hiring me. I mean, that's so true. Wow. I mean, he hit the nail on the head right there. That's exactly how people come in. It's exactly when I remember me when I was young in my interview, right? When I first started getting out there, yeah, I would come into the job market and I'd be like, okay, hey, I'm here for this interview. Yep. Mm-hmm. What's up? But then, you feel like, oh man, I wish I don't say anything that, if I say something, they might, if I say something off, I wish I don't say something off that might impact me or any of that stuff. Hopefully I'm the right fit for them. So you try to do everything to fit in, right? So you try to do everything to meet that mold that they want you to meet, which sucks, right? So and that's how he gracefully I humbly ask for you to hire me, please hire me. And it's like, what are you doing? Get your ass up and put that crown back on your head, their king, their queen. Like, no, you don't do that, right? Like, no. Like, number one, realize your true potential always. It doesn't matter what you're doing right now. And number two, if you're on the floor, get your ass up, stand tall, and put on that crown. King, put on that crown. Queen, nothing can ever take that from you because you are infinitely intelligent human being. And if nobody told you that, then let me be the first. So don't ever stoop yourself down so low that you're begging somebody. I mean, it's crazy. But anyways, that's kind of what that reminded me of. Struck a nerve there. And so he was here. Right here, I read something here. It was time for me to be honest with myself. Yes, that right there. The mirror of truth, right? That aha moment is going to come, right? If it didn't already, it's going to hit you like a bag of bricks, like bam, and you're going to be like, "Oh shit, I got to make a decision." You know? And then that's the time. And really I like it cuz he said it was time for me to be honest with myself. Because until you're honest with yourself wholeheartedly, and you're not lying to yourself or making up excuses for you not to do something. Oh, I didn't look for a job today because whatever. Or I didn't work on myself today. Or I didn't work on my high income skills today. I didn't work out. I didn't eat right. Just because I couldn't. Oh my God, I was in a rush. I just had to eat McDonald's. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? Right? I mean, no, you got to be honest with yourself. Okay. And if you want change, then you have to be 100% honest with yourself. And not only that, but you have to tell yourself, you have to come to an agreement with yourself. And you got to say, all right, so what do we want in life? What do we want in this cyber life? Do we actually want, what do we want to do? Right. Well, I want a slate. I want a cyber career. I want a cybersecurity career. Maybe I want 6 figures. Like, what is that? Tell yourself that, right? And then once you can be honest with yourself as to what you really want in life and pretty much decide what those goals are, then you got to make every day you wake up, remind yourself of that. Every day you go to sleep, remind yourself of who you are and who you are, not who you want to be, because before the aha moment, you wanted to be somebody. And then you got an aha moment because that aha moment probably told you, shit, I am that person right now. Right. Or I can get that, right? It gives you that hope, that clarity. So then after that aha moment, you're like, man, that's right. That's right. That's me. Let me go get that. Right. So, and now you have become. So being honest with yourself allow you to become whoever you want to be because you realize that you was that person the entire time. And that's kind of what happened here when he was about to get some dirty food. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He just, I'll be nice. I'll be nice. He's about to get some McDonald's here. And then he got that aha moment. And it pretty much told him, you know what? Screw this. He pulled into his neighborhood, parked on the curb, flung the door open, drove for his laptop and began composing his reverse job application, which was the website, right? So the present moment is this reverse job application, which pretty much tells people I'm done asking people to hire me, and I'm just going to put myself out there and tell you what I'm looking for and what I can do. And if you like that, then hit me up and we'll talk. And if I'm a good fit for you and you're a good fit for me, then guess what? It's a party. We're friends and we're both gonna do magical things together. And that's pretty much what the reverse job application talks about here, because he stood up the website and pretty much put it all out there. And he said, "Hey, the present. This is what I do, right?" And he was pretty funny. It showed his personality, and pretty much it made people who read it like him. And in business, if people like you, then you can continue helping people. But if you're running around like a dirt bag, being all negative and whatnot, then you're not going to get a lot of business, and which means you can't help people. So that's kind of the secret formula right there, right? In business, and that's pretty much what his reverse job application did for him, was allow people to understand him and get to know him so that they would want to do business with him, which works all the time, works in business all the time, and that's what business is. So let me see what else here I want to share with you. And this reverse job application, which was awesome. So that's kind of the you know the staging for it. And he pretty much puts a whole bunch of here, uh, puts a whole bunch of crazy things here. Puts a whole bunch of here. What is that? I don't know. Because I'm trying to read right here at the same time. So the future right here, let me see. I will review job. I mean, he pretty much tells people here, which is crazy. Let me try to find some funny stuff out of here that he says. Let's see. So I mean, he says the present. Hey, I'm done asking people to hire me. First and foremost, it's clear it doesn't work. Second, it closes me off to a lot of potential amazing opportunities, which it does. It does. It really does. That whole process needs to be revamped. And the only way you do that is internally. If you got a business, just change the way you hire people. Um, anyways, I can only find and apply to so many jobs. So pretty much, he was on the hunt, right? You're on the hump. You're on the hunt. You're on job boards. You're searching for potential jobs that you want to apply to, and if they all match up with everything that you like, right, then you go ahead and submit your resume, and then you would do that, But there's so many there's so many hours in a day, so that's what he was talking about here, and that's why this model works a little better, because on the other side, this is just, let's say, a website. So this website, anybody can see it worldwide, and not only that, but he can take it and send it to as many people as he wants, and it saves them time, right? It saves the other person time. So this is you know a great way to market yourself. So, and that's pretty much what he was saying here. Third and finally, the application process undermines my value as a worker. I've gone my entire life consistently producing excellent results at every task I set my mind to, and quite frankly, employers should be coming to me, not the other way around, right? Like, yeah, of course. I mean, I get it. Yeah, they should. Let's see. Um, so he pretty much lays out a whole bunch of stuff here. And then the future, that's where he starts talking about, I will review job offers as they are submitted. If your offer does not receive a response within a day or two, it's probably because I was not impressed with your terms, job description, or writing style. Feel free to resubmit your offer, but please bear in mind that first impressions are important and subsequent offers are more likely to be outright ignored. Wow. I mean, he was pretty honest, right? Honesty is always the best policy. In the event that your offer does strike my fancy, right? So you see his personality in his writing, right? I will contact you to discuss the details of the job and schedule an interview to ensure that your company meets my standards for employment. I mean, pretty much you know, he's setting himself up, right? He's like, nah, man. So pretty much he has an about me page, which is awesome. He talks about I am. What is he, right? So he shows you his skill sets. He talks about he's creative. He's perfectly capable of obtaining my own snacks and beverages. That's funny. I know several of you may take pride in keeping your employee lounge fridges well stocked, but I'm looking for a workplace that offers me something slightly more compelling than a free Red Bull. Oh man, that's so true. That's how they get you. It's like, hey, we got a whole free snack bar. You can get anything you want. It's free. You're like, whoa, I want to work there. And when you work there, you're like, man, this place sucks. All right. So pretty much he has an about me page, which is I mean, it's genius. He tells you about himself. He's creative. He's definitely perfectly capable of obtaining his own snacks. Let's see here. A leader in inexperienced professionalism. My years of unemployment have given me many opportunities to avoid picking up bad habits from your competitors. Oh my God. He is an open book, right? I mean, that's pretty much what I would have said. Open book or something. But I mean, it's crafty, right? This is all called copywriting, long sales format. Hmm. Very nice. So what else he says here is he's hoping to learn new things. He's usually wearing clothes. He's authorized to work in the United States on full-time basis. He's able to respond to feedback in a timely manner. Now, this is great. So he's pretty much setting his conditions for himself. Hey, this is me, right? I mean, I wish he would have threw in here like, hey, this is what I can do as well. Um, what he said here, I'm not going to bother you posting a resume here, but if you want one, I can send you one. Let's see, a robot. I have a sense of humor, and I hope that you do as well. A circus elephant. I will not work for peanuts, no matter how much I enjoy. I might enjoy performing tricks in front of a cheering, screaming crowd, or whatever it is you'll have me doing. Oh my God. I if I would have seen this, I would have hired him. I would have hired him too. Like I would have hired him too. That's crazy. All right. So let's see here. A mercenary. That's right. We're mercs, baby. There are jobs I'm not willing to do for legal, ethical, or personal reasons, regardless of the price tag attached. Oh, that's so true. In cybersecurity, that's 100%. I used to consider myself a mercenary in the job, willing to work for anybody, willing to do anything. Let's go. Cybersecurity of the world, Craig. Right? I used to think like that until I became a private, or until I was licensed as a private investigator a long time ago. And some, person remained nameless forever, wanted me to do a job, and pretty much the job entailed taking down websites and things like that. And I was like, wow, this person is exercising freedom of speech. And you want me to do what? But anyways, that will happen. So, you got to check what kind of hat you're wearing. Everybody loves that black hat. But are you willing to do that black hat stuff? Mhm. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I always like my gray hat. But anyways, that's what he says. He's a mercenary. He's a lone wolf. That's awesome. Let me see what he says. I do fantastic work on my own, but you will get the best results by teaming me up with other talented individuals. Having a group that I can rely on and bounce ideas off increases my productivity drastically. I mean, that's great. That's a one way to turn that around. A robot again. Any automated messages that wind up in my inbox will be discarded promptly. Your propaganda is not welcome here, mechanical scum. That's true, man. Stop group mailing everybody. Like, if you need something, mail that person, email that person. Like, why you gotta send the whole group message? I feel you, bro. I feel you. All right. Opposed to relocating. All right. He wrote that. All right. Then he said he had a whole section about you. You must possess strong written, verbal, and interpersonal communication skills. Wow. You see, because normally that's turned around the candidate, right? The candidate must possess strong written, verbal, and interpersonal communication skills. And it's like, bro, I know I got it. How about you? I want to go in there and what's going on with your business, right? So I can see it, right? You must be passionate about your industry and your work. That's so true. Oh my God, that's so true. Because I don't want to work in a place and the people who own it don't even like that place. Like, do you want me to suffer? That's what he says. If you dread going in to work every day, then I dread being asked to suffer alongside you. That's awesome. Then the last one here, he said, be unique. Wow. I mean, he's really like coming after people. Like, yeah, be unique. Like, yo, I don't want to work for a shitty business. You should relish in a little nonsense now and then. All right. He says, encourage me to make new friends, encourage me to go outside, appreciate the sanctity of Tacky Tie Tuesday. Relax. I'm only kidding. Every day is Tacky Tie Day. That's right. That's right. I mean, and then he has down here an about time for you to make an offer. Who are you? Where do you work? What's your email address? Can you confirm that for me? What job are you offering me? What will I be doing? What else should I know? And then submit. I mean, this is genius. This is pretty much marketing genius. And one of the things that, as far as a cyber mindset, that I like to share with pretty much everybody I come across, is more especially the cyber freedom fighters, and it goes for one of my life hacks. I was trying to, what do I call these things? And I don't know yet, cyber life hacks or cyber mindset hacks or something. I don't know yet, but if you got any ideas, then feel free, drop some comments. And if you're in the community, then make some noise in there as well. And pretty much the one or rules, like a business rule, but my own rules for my mind is always treat yourself as a business. And as you can see, this is what Andrew Horner exactly did. He treated himself as a business, and he said, you know what? I got skills. I need to advertise myself. I need to find leads, and I need to put them in this funnel, and I need to sell them. And that's pretty much what he did. So his website acted as a sales funnel, and he did a long sales copy format here as a long sales letter is what it's called. If he would have put a video in here, he could have did the whole thing in a video, which would probably increase his conversion as well. However, this is awesome, right? So he did a long sales funnel here on his website with tons of copywriting in it, which is salesmanship in print. So you can see that throughout the entire page. And then at the end, he put a call to action. And he said, hey, you got an offer to make? Then what is it? And hit me up and I'll see it. And once I see it, I hit you back. And if I don't like it, I won't hit you back. Right? Like pretty much what he said. So that's what he did here. And then when he did the interview was his sales process. And in your sales process, you have to close in order to make that moolah. So that's what he did, right? So this is why I always tell people to treat themselves as a business. Because if you treat yourself as a business, then you are 100% in tune with yourself as far as what is your service, what's your product, right? What are you offering? What's your price range, right? All these things, how are you generating leads so that you can make money, right? How are you closing people, right? All these things is pretty much if you treat yourself as a business, then you would know to do these things. And if you don't know how to run a business, or if you don't know how to treat yourself as a business, then that's why I come up with these 5 steps that can help you improve your business or grow your business or improve your career or grow your career. And I was thinking about all those 5 things as I was reading it, because it was missing some things for me. Obviously, this is not going to be 100% perfect, but that's why he left it out there so that people can learn from it. So we're learning from it. And, for me, I have, well, let me get out of here. Let me see. Well, I wanted to throw up a whiteboard here so that I can write these 5 things out for you. But I will do it later when I upload this video onto YouTube and Spotify. And I will list the 5 things there. But if you want the entire video, as far as where I talk about these 5 things, then I teach this in our cybersecurity assessment masterclass within our Cyber Freedom Fighters community. And if you go to cyberfreedomfighters.com, then you can sign up with us there. And if you're already a member, then just jump into the Arc Aegis Masterclass, which is the cybersecurity assessment masterclass. But I just call it Arc Aegis for our own internal fun. And there is a video in there that's labeled, right here. That's labeled How to Get Started with Clients. And in that video, I talk about the 5 things that I'm going to share with you right now. So if you want to make an awesome reverse job application like Andrew Horner, then you need to start treating yourself as a business as far as your mindset is concerned. And then these are the 5 things that I want you to work on, right? So number 1, which I didn't see a lot here from Andrew, was his high income skill set. What was that high income skill set that you offer people as a business? Because as a business, we all got services and we may have some products, or we may, we got services and products. It may be digital products, it may be physical products, but we have them in some sort of fashion somehow. In the cybersecurity assessment world, our product is a final report and final solutions for our customer. That way they can patch whatever vulnerabilities or flaws that we found in their entire organization, and then we give that over to them, and they have something that they can use to outline how they're going to fix everything, or maybe turn into a strategic roadmap for them, which is awesome, so that they can fix everything and budget things properly, and all that good stuff that we do in operations. But anyways, that is that. So having a high income skill set is important. So, and that's something that I work with, or I tell a lot of people, and I like working with people on, because I'm like, all right, so what's your high income skill set? And if you look at the reverse job application, there really wasn't any discussion here about high income skill sets. It was just like, hey, this is what I can do. Even if you went to college, you would have developed a high income skill set in college, because that's what you're there for. You're taking 4 years to develop this one high income skill set, whether it is you want to be a lawyer, or maybe you want to be a doctor, or maybe you want to be a programmer, computer scientist. You're picking up these high income skill sets. Maybe you want to be a professor, right? Maybe you want to be a teacher, right? That's why you're going to college, because you want to develop a high income skill set. And depending on the university and the resources, their resources that they may offer you may be different. And that's why going to different colleges, or looking for different colleges that you may like, is advantageous, because what you're looking for is not who went there, or what alumni I'm going to be a part of when I get out. No, you look for what are the resources that they're providing you to help make you successful. And if you're doing engineering, or maybe let's say you're doing robotics, then you may want to find a college that has a robotics lab, and the robotics lab is well funded. And these things matter to you, because that's your high income skill set of choice that you want. You want to do robotics and get into all that stuff. So why would you go to another college that just talks about robots and they don't even have a lab, or they may have a shitty lab? I mean, right, you're spending money to go to college, so why not find a college that's going to work for you, versus you're there just because it's cool, everybody said go here, or we're all going to be alumni, or we're in the same fraternity. Like, nobody cares about that stuff, right? Why are you going to college? Because you don't know anything and you want to learn a high income skill set. So that's why you're going there. So in the reverse job application, what was that job? What was that high income skill set that you learned, right? He didn't say anything about that. So that's something that I right? That's one of the key things that we focus on, because it's like, all right, so what is your high income skill set? What are you trying to do? And if you are a cyber freedom fighter, then I'm going to tell you, don't go to college, because that's 4 years wasted. How about you take 6 to 12 weeks and do this cybersecurity assessment masterclass? And now you have a high income skill set in cybersecurity that you can use to create your reverse job application, or submit your application to other people, or, advertise for your business as well, if that's what you want to do, right? The world is literally your oyster, right? So there's many paths that you can get there, that you can use to get there. And in my book, there's no right or wrong way to get there. They're just paths. Some may take a lot longer to get you the same results than others. So, right, because they're shorter paths, more direct paths. And for me, I've always been more loving. I try to find a word there, but more loving, more appreciative of the shortest path, because time for me is precious. And I'd rather have the most time in my hands to spend with my family here on earth than be wasting it doing other things out there that is not towards my one common goal. So the shortest path has always been the best path for me. And that's what you have to understand and be honest with yourself. Because if you're like, yeah, no, I just need to do this thing here, and yeah, it's going to take me 4 years. Yeah, that's fine. I'm all right with it. All right, well, if that's what you want to do, then go right ahead. Right? You got to be honest with yourself, because if you're like, yep, I want to do that, then go ahead and do it. Nobody's saying that's wrong, right? But it depends on your end goal, right? Because if your end goal is like, no, I just wanted to go there. All right, well, then tell everybody, I'm just here because I just want to go here, right? And be honest. Because if you're like, oh no, I'm here because I want to learn cybersecurity, and I'm gonna look at you like, and what? And it's gonna take you 4 years to learn cybersecurity? What? No, come here. I mean, really, right? So if you're trying to learn cybersecurity, 4 years, if you're like, yeah, that's, yep, boom, then I'm gonna try to talk you off that ledge. And if you still want to do it, then go right ahead. But I can guarantee you, over here, 6 weeks, a short path, you'll not only learn how to do cybersecurity, but you'll become one of the top people doing cybersecurity assessments, because I'm teaching you my method. And that's who I was, right? When I was active in industry doing cybersecurity assessments for military organizations, governments, commercial, and pretty much anybody out there. And I never followed any of the rules then, and I'm not following any of the rules now. So, and that's pretty much what it is, right? It's that mindset, right? So, what is your mindset? Do you really want to take the long road, or do you want to take a short road and be successful right away? Like, it's up to you, right? So if you want the short road and be successful, hey, come to cyberfreedomfighters.com. I'll give you that masterclass right away. You can access as soon as you become a member in the community. You'll go through orientation, which is quick, right? Probably take you not even a day. And after that, you can start accessing the cybersecurity assessment masterclass to do all that stuff. So essentially, that's your high income skill set. And that's the first one of the 5. And I ordered this way, as far as I started with a high income skill set first, because that's what you need, right? That's the experience that all the jobs are looking for. So if you're coming out of college and you're like, well, I don't have any experience, then I'll say bullshit. You got 4 years of experience, right? So what were you doing in there? And if you're a computer scientist, because you picked up a computer science bachelor's degree, then I'm like, okay, so what do you love programming in? right? What are you building software with? You're a computer scientist. So what are you building software with? Right. And all that stuff is your high income skill set. So because don't think that because you actually did not have a job, you can't claim that, because that is just doing yourself a disjustice, because this is a cyber world. This is a cyber game. I don't need to go to 4-year university to learn cybersecurity, cyber IT, right? Computer science, right? I don't need to learn that in a 4-year university, because I can learn it at home, and I can learn it way faster, right? I learn it as fast as I want to, right? And that's you as well, right? You can learn things as fast as you want to, right? So if you want to take 4 years to learn something, then go right ahead. But I'm telling you that you can do it at home and actually learn it way faster and probably even way better. And after that, you can actually, boom, start making a commitment, right? You can probably start working out there, get some money, and getting success very, very fast. But going back to college, right? So as Andrew Horner here, he got out of college, right? He didn't put a lot of that skill set in there. So I'm like, all right, so what'd you do in college? Use what you do in college as your experience. And hopefully you took on projects, you play with things, right? And if you're doing computer science and you'd be like, hey, I developed all these applications, boom, here they are, right? And if you still got them, then, host them somewhere, make your own website, right? Now we're coming back down. Now we're coming back to the reverse job application, right? Because now you got your high income skill set. Boom, it's locked and loaded. Even after a 4-year degree, you have a high income skill set. You just don't know it yet. And if you don't know it, then just come to Cyber Freedom Fighters and I got you. We can talk and I'll show you the greatness that you already have inside you. So, that's one of them, high income skill set. And now the next thing I focus on is lead generation. I talk about, all right, so how do you get people? How are you going to get potential employers to look at you if you're a subject matter expert or somebody trying to get into a career? So that's the second one in my process that we work with people on, right? And that goes back to the reverse job application. He created a website and he put all his stuff on the website. And let's say you are a computer scientist or a computer science major, then you should have, let's say, a website with your information. Who am I? Right? Like, this is what I do. This is what I love doing. These are my projects. You can check them out and log in to see my work. And if you want to take a page out of the reverse job application, then yeah, you also want to put in there who you're looking for, who's a good fit for you, right? So, what must that business possess, in order to hire you, right? And this goes back to treating yourself as a business, because if you treat yourself as a business, then every business has their own personal avatar, their own personal unique character that they know they work best with. And if you have a business and you haven't thought about that person, then you need to go back into this, right? And do that. So that's what lead generation is going to do for you, right? All right. How are you getting your name out there? What are you doing, right, for people to notice you? And then the third thing is funnel design. I say funnel, but it's websites. Websites are turning into funnels because funnels are pretty damn awesome. And I just want to thank brother Russell Brunson, for, all that he did with ClickFunnels out there as well. So, and now we have funnels everywhere. So your website is your funnel. So the reverse job application, he had a 1-page long sales funnel in order to convert any potential employers that were reading his stuff. So you need to do the same as well, right? What are you going to put that on, right? It could be anything. So you got high income skill set, you got lead generation, you got funnels, right? And then you're going to have your sales process. Now, your sales process in here is, how are you going to close the people, right? When you jump in that interview, right? Are you 100% ready to take that interview? Do you have a script in mind, right? Do you know how to answer the questions or ask questions, right? I mean, what all these things, what are you thinking about? What's your mindset going into this interview, right? I mean, there's so much about sales that, a lot of people are starting to talk about now, which is awesome. But closing, sales, all that stuff, people are generating sales scripts now to close for their business, and you got to take the same approach when you go interview. And if you treat yourself as a business, then you know that you're interviewing that potential client or that potential person or that potential employer just as much as they're interviewing you. And if you come in there and maybe you wanted, let's say, that free Red Bull, and you come in there and they're like, yeah, we don't do that. And, all right, then you got to make a decision, right? I mean, so I'm just using that as an example, but there's many examples out there. But just if you're treating yourself as a business, you're going in to interview them just as much as they're interviewing you. Because you don't want to waste their time, and I hope that they don't want to waste yours either. So that's where that comes in as far as the sales process goes. And then the last thing that I like to focus on is my product. Like, all right, so I have a high income skill set, but what's the result of that? What am I generating for my client that they're going to love? Whether it be electronic or physically, I'm doing something, right? So that high income skill set produces something. So what is that something? What does it look like, right? So all these things. And pretty much that, if you focus on these 5 things, then you can start fleshing out your reverse job application as well, because that's what he did here. He doesn't have a lot of the 5 things that I mentioned, but he has he has the funnel, he has the copy on there, right? I don't know what his sales process was, but I saw the call to action down here. So they're filling out a form, and then from there, he's scheduling and then closing. Which is awesome. And this is why I love this stuff. This is why I love cyber, and this is how he used cyber to actually improve his career in life as well, right? Because he used cyber to create this funnel, to write all these words, right? And then take this and then email it out, more cyber. And then people are using this in forms to communicate with him, more cyber. So this is how you can use cyber to improve your life. And this is what he did. The good result, the good news story out of this was that, he did get a job. And he pretty much left this website up for everybody to learn. So, and he knows he's not alone, and that's why he left it there. And this is what we focus on. This is what we focus on as a cyber freedom fighter, is not only helping you realize your own true potential as a infinitely intelligent human being, but also we are giving you that high income skill set in cybersecurity if you choose to do so. And we're not only giving you the training, I'm giving you the templates, the processes, the forms, the sales script. I mean, everything to execute that entire process from 0 to hero. From what do I do to get clients with this? What is this service? What is the product? All that stuff we give you inside our community as resources. So if you want a high income skill set in cybersecurity, then we have a masterclass for you right now. So as you come in, you can take the training and be successful as well. And the program right now is about 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, I put a whole bunch of stuff out there, and hopefully you can digest it all into 6 weeks and be successful. And I say, hopefully, I know this works, but I'm looking at it from your end, right? So on your end, you need to be willing and ready to do work. Because if you're willing and ready to do work and you're open and you're receptive and you're hungry, then that always makes the best people, because they're going to slay it. They're going to slay it. They're going to take the 6-week program. They're going to ask a lot of questions and they're going to be successful. And those that don't take that approach are not successful. And we know this based on experience. So get in there. If you're not a cyber freedom fighter, then just go to cyberfreedomfighters.com. And if you are, then you can access the resources and start taking the cybersecurity assessment masterclass and gain access to pretty much all those resources. And we are developing more and more resources for that masterclass pretty much every week. And I'm trying to do my best to get that updated and fill in some of the gaps that we have in some of the courses, some of the modules. They're missing some stuff, so I just got to upload all that content. But long story short, pretty much everything is in there for cybersecurity assessments. And something else that I can help you with, maybe you have your business and you're like, man, can you help me on those 5 things? Then yes, I can help you on those 5 things. If you have your business, then we can talk about what cyber business systems can help you automate all this stuff. That way you're not stuck in operations, or you're not stuck burning all your time to operate your business. And if you are a college student or maybe thinking about going into college, then come check us out, cyberfreedomfighters.com. And if you're serious about success, then what's a chance like this? It's going to save you. It's going to save you 4 years. It's going to save you money, and hopefully it's going to save you a headache. So come check us out as well. And if you are in college now, or you got out of college and you're still stuck, then come check us out. I would love to help you out and work with you to design your dream, but not only to design your dream, let me just say, but to help you see it through as well. And that's why we have a community, right? This is why we have the community, and no, 5-day boot camps or events or seminars, because after these boot camps is over, these seminars and events, everybody just scatters, and then you're like, oh wow, I just learned all this stuff. Now what? So I didn't like that when I was going through the industry. And now that we have officially launched our training, coaching, international platform, then, this is why we did it, because I didn't want that to happen to people. I didn't want you to come in here and, let's say, learn this cybersecurity assessment entire service and product, right? The entire thing. Don't know how to execute these things, right? Get all this information, and then I'm like, all right, well, if you got questions, then sorry, bye. That's why we have the community, so you can ask questions anytime as you're going through the training, and we're always there for you to support you any way that pretty much I can. So I definitely appreciate that. So that was, one of the questions from our community member. Let me pull this up. So I appreciate you, Mark, for sharing the information about reverse job applications. And I know you had, hopefully that answered your question about, let me find your question, so I'll mess it up. Does a reverse application process even exist? So as you can saw, Mark, it does exist. And I use them as 5 steps. So if you go in the community, I also did I put this information on there for you as well in the community under the post that you posted. So once you can get in there, you'll see exactly the 5 steps. And I even shared the link to the video in our cybersecurity assessment masterclass that actually goes over those 5 steps from a business perspective. So there it is. I'm going to give you the 5 steps one more time. These 5 steps can pretty much help you make a reverse job application process happen for you. And these 5 things are high income skill set, lead generation, funnel design, sales process, and then product design, or whatever you want to call it. I just call it product. But anyways, that is that. Hopefully, that helped you, or that helps you in your endeavor as far as fighting for your own cyber freedom, right? So let's see here. I am going back into make sure I don't have any more questions during this AMA. So let me just type in the feedback, or type in, I got to type anything and say hello. So I just put some messages in there. Let me know if you have any more questions. I know we went a little bit over on time, but it was okay because I really wanted to deeply cover the reverse job application process. And I think we can use that process and elevate it just slightly by incorporating our 5 steps. And I can help you with all that if you join us inside our Cyber Freedom Fighters community. So I don't see any more questions here from the family. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you as always. And that is all I have for you on this episode of Echoes of Cyber Freedom. I'm your brother, L. And thank you all for your time, love, and support. And I will definitely talk to you on the next one. So thank you all for joining us in this episode of Echoes of Cyber Freedom. Peace and love to you all. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.